Buddy, what? Logged. Trouble. Back to table. Ah, won't get her now. Damn it. Come on. Oh, I'm toast.
Blade of Mika.
What? Hit her. There you go.
Blade of Mika.
Yeah. What? Man, that just makes me mad. What you dropping her for? Come on, man. There you go. Oi, missed. Hit her. There you go. Hit her. I missed. Oi. Nope, not me. Why'd you... What? Why? Why didn't you stay fighting her? Ah, that's so irritating. Basically full health. Hit her. Hit her, hit her, hit her. There you go. Hit her. There you go. Why are you just walking toward me? That's what I want to know. Why do you keep walking? Why? That was horseshit. She's fully stunned. More shenanigans. Telu. I'll pull it up in a sec. Telu the Golem Smith. It's a DLC summon. What his shtick is the fact that he's got like 90% damage reduction. So he doesn't have a lot of hit points, so he's super easy to heal, but he doesn't take much damage. hitting you. Hit her! What are you doing? Oh, that's good. Why are you walking away from her? Why are you walking away from her? Ducked. While I truly appreciate your effort to knock her, I needed you to get healed. Come on.
Your strength
Ha ha!
extraordinary. The mark of a true lord.
Woo! Taylor!
Dear Mikola. Oh, dearest Mikola.
Yeah.
My brother. I'm sorry. I finally met my match.
All right. That's satisfying. All right. Totally. I got you. Okay, so a couple of hold on. Let me do this. Let me actually get the point. So I will actually show you a couple things. There are two versions of this build. One of them involves this armor. I'll go over first what I'm using. So this is the Bolt of Gransax, which is from the original game. It's in the city. You can't get it after you've killed Malekith. More accurately, I don't think you can get it after you burn the city. There's the giant spear that's like embedded in the city. You climb up on it. There's a path to get there, and that's where you get the bolt. I'm using the Erdtree seal because my int is low. If my int wasn't low, I'd be using the Golden Order. It's actually a better seal, but I don't have the intelligence to use it. The Gravelstone offhand is because it boosts Dragon Cult incantations. So that's specifically for that one purpose. I'm using the Death Knight armor set. Each piece gives you a 2% increase. Let me look at it over here. Each set has this enhances skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. It's the same basic thing. So you get 2% increase for each one of those. Let's see. Basically, I've just got incantation boost, lightning boost, faster spells. I did not expect to be using boosted lightning as much as I did. If I had, I would have used the Godfrey icon to increase those even more. But then again, I could have lost because of that, right? There's a trade-off. If I make them too angry, my tank doesn't take the hits, and then it comes after me, and I'm super fragile. So, the stats themselves... here we go. So the stats themselves, Vigor to 60, you could probably do it with 40. I've had this comment. I wasn't even using my Great Rune, by the way. I've made this comment before, and hey Chewy, yep, just beat her, man. You missed it. If you have 1,000 hit points and the boss is hitting for 900. It takes 2 hits to kill you. If you have 1,600 hit points, it takes 2 hits to kill you. Right? So when you're dealing with lots of trash running around dungeons and all that stuff, every point of vigor really matters, because you're probably going to get past sort of a threshold where it takes, enough things or whatever. But when you're fighting bosses, the difference between vigor 40 and 41 could be the difference between 1 and 2 hits. But if adding Vigor doesn't get you to 3 hits, it doesn't matter whether you have 40, 50, or 60. 2-hit kill is 2-hit kill, right? So just keep that in mind for boss fights. Then Mind, I just want as much FP as possible. Endurance for the stamina. I probably could have gone more there, but I didn't. Faith of 80 to get the damage up. Dex of 40 because the Bolt of Gansax requires it. It's a minimum of 40 to use. 54 for, what was it? There's another thing I have that, a spell maybe that has Arcane. It builds off of it. The spells themselves, Heal from Afar, Golden Vow, that buffs you and your helpers. Shabriri, that's just for the DPS increase. This is DLC, this is DLC, this is original game, this is original game. This is what I used for almost the entire fight. It's just probably the best lightning damage spell, and it's boosted by all the things. But let me show you that there is an alternative path to go with this, which is here. You can, instead of using armor, you have to take all your armor off. You can instead use... Where's the heart? This item here, Priestess Heart. When you have the Priestess Heart, you activate it the first time, and it puts you in the Priestess physical. You become like a dragonkin, if you will. When you use it a second time, you get a boost for Dragon Cult incantations. It lasts like 50 seconds or 45 seconds or something, so it doesn't last very long. So you have to keep recharging it, but when you do, you get a big damage increase on those spells. But you can't be wearing any armor. So using it the first time will get you decent stats, but it's like you're wearing light armor with good spell resistance. So that's the setup that I was using. It's pretty standard Ancient Dragon Cult incantation. And then here's the weapon. It's actually a ton of fun, that build. I don't have the needle, so I can't stab it for the additional ancient stone. And you're welcome. So it is a very hold on. There's one more thing. For large body bosses, let me trying to think if there's a good example. Are you familiar with the distinction and the advantages and disadvantages of large body versus small body bosses? Does that even mean anything to you? Okay, so when a thing is going to hit, spell, sword, it doesn't matter what it is, it actually like has a hitbox concept, and spells in particular, when they're going to hit, will hit like this spell, Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, is actually the cornerstone of this build for most encounters, not for her. But if you watch what this spell does, every one of those will hit if it hits the hitbox. So if you go to a creature that has a particularly large hitbox, let me show you. I haven't killed any dragons, so I'm going to large body hitbox. So this is a large body hitbox. Actually hit. See, every column that comes out hits that large hitbox, and so it does tons of damage. So when you're using these when you're encountering a boss with a large hitbox, spells like this are absolutely devastating. But when you're fighting a boss like Millennia, who's really small, you could actually miss every single lightning bolt. But with those guys, you saw it just melted them, right? Because it's every single, like, as it's casting its way out, they're all hitting. I hope that kind of makes sense. So this spell, for bosses that you know that it's just going to absolutely just hit and hit and hit over and over and over again, this spell is incredibly powerful. And all that, I get a gravel stone. So that's one of the tricks in understanding hitboxes and what stuff does. Many of these big spells, their ability comes from the fact that they're because they're a large body, you can hit them a ton with these spells that are specifically designed for that. Anyway. I think I already killed the... Yeah, I already killed Great Roll. And then, of course, it's good if you can get the spell off. It's good in a bunch of trash, because you'll probably hit a bunch of it, but you can actually cast that spell in a group of like 12 mobs, and 12 of them come out and still stomp you. So one of the big aspects of this build is the... let me remove that. So spells like these, for example... oh, let me go one more. I'm going to run into the building that's next to me just so you can kind of see the advantages and disadvantages. I want one more. No. All of these spells are aided by it, the build. So... I'm not going to bother with Shabriri. So stuff like the glaive, right? That's another. That's one which has some advantage on large hitboxes, but it actually has some disadvantages as well. Because you've got to actually hit it on the ground. See how they're not actually taking much damage from it? Because I have to actually hit the creature. So that's just kind of a advantages and disadvantages of particular, you know, the build is designed. You have to also pick like which spell fits in which situation, that kind of thing. Well, I was going to consider answering the question. Now I'm not going to. So see, it barely hit 2. So it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like specific kind of, yeah, anyway, sorry. That goes sort of away from, goes away from the, it's just going to irritate me now. One thing to take away from the build is that there are some limitations on it, but it is by far one of the most powerful, has by far one of the most powerful build setups. I don't do all of the crazy things that you can do, like increase with bleed, increase with this, increase with that. And I would add that this is not a great melee weapon. Others may disagree, but I actually don't find this to be a terribly effective melee weapon. Perhaps others will think otherwise, but I'm generally not impressed. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, Consort Radon, that's a rough fight. That's the power of the bolt, is that attack. I read somewhere that there are a couple specific weapons that are pretty good for this, for melee. I haven't played with them at all. Radahn's tough, but I actually think that although it's the most punishing fight in the game, he's not the hardest boss. That's my opinion. And I'm making a distinction between just being punishing and being hard. Hitting super hard and just having effects that blast the entire arena, that doesn't make a boss. It makes them hard, but not in a legitimate way. I can invent a boss in this game, which technically you could beat, but anytime you're within 100 meters, he just does a continuous sapping of hit points and pulls them to himself. That's just dumb, right? That in my opinion, is lazy design. What you really want to do is learn how to do the... If you want to do yourself a favor as early as possible, let me show you. It doesn't do any good for me to show on this character. I'm going to pull up a much lower level character. Something that I wish I learned when I first started playing the game, and I've seen so much advice coming out from people that is contrary to this. So this is a character, level 25. I probably have the runes to get to level 30 by now because I keep doing the same demonstrations. Yeah, I've got... Yeah, let me see. What's my leveling point right now? Yeah, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So, I'm just using... Oh, hold on. Let me go. Church of Ella. I don't have the ideal weapon for this. The shield, I mean. Yeah. I really should get the buckler. Anyway. So there are two things. There's this. What I just did is called counter parry. And that's parry. If you learn how to do those two things, a lot of stuff gets way easier if you're playing a melee type. Even if you're playing a caster. So, there's even this one where a guard counter is what it's called. So you hold this up, and then when they bounce off the shield, if you watch, there'll be sparks on the shield. Right, that's a standard hit. That's a guard counter. Guard counters don't usually also give you a free crit, by the way. That's just these guys. You won't normally get that. But these are great for practicing this stuff on, and you really want to learn how to do this. Let me change to the other shield. I cannot do the block on this shield, but you'll see the sparks fly when he hits it. Even when he hits it with a torch, it's funny. See the sparks that flew? They're the sparks, right? He kind of like jars a little bit when he does that. That thing where I'm doing the immediate attack back and hitting him, that's a guard counter. I can explain to you what is happening in a parry. I promise you that's the best that I can do, and I am a poor choice to actually teach this one. Okay, but I promise I'll do my best. Check it out. So, when a creature swings, you need to think like a computer for a minute. As you heard, like 60 frames a second, 40 frames a second forever. As the game is calculating what's happening, it's doing it in a series of frames. That doesn't mean the frames that are drawn on the screen necessarily. It could be doing 30 frames in the background for purposes of what's happening, 30 frames per second, for the purpose of what's happening back and forth, but then drawing 90 frames a second for terms of how pretty it is. So don't think in terms of frames drawing on the screen. Think in terms of... It calculates what's happening with the sword when you're holding it here, then here, then here. It's not doing it a continuous motion, like what's happening on this arc. It's like, did it hit anything? Did it hit anything? Did it hit anything? Those are the frames it's using internally. Yeah. So, the smaller the shield, the more time, that is the more frames that you have to cause a parry. Where you take the shield and you knock the weapon out. With the medium shield, it's like 7 frames or 8 frames. With a buckler or a small shield, it's like 11 frames. Now, if you watch his attacks, he'll do the fast attack is not what you can parry. You're waiting for him to do this big, slow attack. He'll do it eventually. That one is one that's parryable. I'm just terrible at it. You then have to catch it right at the moment he begins to hit you. Not pulling it back, but the moment when he's about to... When he goes like, ah, and he goes like this, there's where you're looking for. Not the fast attacks, this one. And you have... No, only slow attacks can be parried. That's my understanding. You can only parry the big attacks. I don't... Now, for some bosses, every attack is that kind of attack. They may be right. That Olives is saying, I think you can parry most of his attacks. That one is just easier. Works for me. I can barely parry those. This is why I said I'm terrible at this. I wish I'd gotten good at it when it was, like, really part of the game. Yeah. I've never been able to parry anything but the big, slow ones. Oh, well, there we go. Thank you, Olives. You can parry any attack. I just did it. I have learned something new. So, the big attacks are easier. In any case, when they go to do the swing, right at the moment they begin coming after you, there's a window. And if you hit this block, this parry thing, right? If you get this at just the right time, you can parry an attack. There are a shield like this, which I can't use anyway, but this shield, because it has this effect on it, cannot parry. This is a different thing that it does. Oh, he busted me. I'm in slow mode. Alright, I gotta kill this guy before he kills me. So, the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, is come down to this area and practice. That's really what it comes down to. If you want, let me show you 2 more things. Especially if you're fairly early in the game. Carry and retaliation. Oh, I'm going to have to remember that. Yep. So if you... Yeah, I'll mention that. That's actually how... so when you go to do an Ash of War, there's this Ash of War called No Skill. That will remove whatever that shield does otherwise. This shield has that on it. And the reason it has that on it is because I can't parry with it, right? But now I can do my heavy, or my special, which you normally wouldn't be able to do, at least not on a PC. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you, if you want to have a good straight sword, the Lord Sorn straight sword's a great straight sword, but there's actually the best one in game is you can pick up at the beginning. I will show you where. Raw to you too. Rawr. Yeah, I prefer casters. I was doing a playthrough with nothing but a knight build, so I could only use the gear that a knight would use, but it was getting pretty damn tough once I got to the DLC.
You again? I don't.
Alright, so this guy sells the broadsword. This is the best straight sword in-game. If what you want to use is straight sword. It's the highest damage straight sword. Let me change that statement slightly. He also sells this shield. While I'm here. Why not?
Well, be on your way then.
You don't have to be a jackass about it. So, this... and this. Yeah, I've always been very caster oriented. Oh, this has... Wait. I can't parry with this? I'm confused. I thought this one's a parry. I thought this was a parry available. But it's... I guess I'll have to... Well, never mind. That small shield's no good. Anyhow, so this sword is actually a better straight sword in terms of damage if once you have the runes to go by it. Whoops. Anyway. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if you were here for the... what, I guess now probably about 10, 12 minutes ago. But I just beat Millennia on New Game 3 on a caster build. Hey, Voodoo. Yeah. The shield with no skill is how you are then able to use the weapon skill. $297. All right. I'm back to my lightning build. Oh. Let's spend these runes. Can't use most of the good holy spells because my int isn't high enough. Let's see. But one nice thing is misery cord. That's funny. Hold on. I think my misery cord isn't set up right. Ashes of War. Faith Dex. Ooh. Man, that goes on Arcane? Oh, alright, never mind. Actually, no. Let's go Glimmer. Yeah, I've got a lot to do. Alright. Where was I? Oh, I was trying to avoid going into Shadowkeep. That's the one thing I don't want to do. By the way, the Misery Cord is the best crit weapon in the game. Let's go visit Castle Enos. Oh, naughty. Oops. Oh, hit me. Oh, it's potentially gonna hurt. Water, big boy. No! No, what? Alright, that just makes me mad. I should have crit him. I feel robbed. That dog. Oh, is this Milady again? 3 of these now? What? Come on. Do what I mean, not what I say. They need to feed their dogs better. That's all I'm saying. Whoops. Nope. God, I love this. What's not to love about this one? Uh-oh. What is not to love about this build? Nothing. Obviously, I already have it. Oh, watch this backstab. $5,000. Hold on. What did I pick up? Naletta. Alright, that's what tells you that you have to burn the ceiling tree to get the thorns gone, so that you can do the thing. I think I'm going to be able to do it. Rats. Nope. Alright. Just go with this. Tool for every encounter. There's something up there, there's something in there, I don't care. Oh, hold on. You'd think at this point the whole castle would be like, oh noes. Whoops. Oh, there's a blue stuff. Every time I screw around, instead of just plowing my way through stuff, every time. At least I can just go straight in now. Alright, let's see. There's a dog back there. Why didn't it get him? What? Lies. Nope. hate it when you get, like, trapped. Anyway. It's worse when you know something's there and you just are unable to do anything about it, you know? See him there. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Those guys hit really hard. Oh, wait, what am I... Hold on. What am I using as my... No, that should be okay. Ow! Well, hell. Come back. One thing that's cool about that spell is that once you trigger the secondary effect, it's going to happen no matter what. So it's a huge bonus for situations like that where it stays targeted, by the way. Just out of range. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Oi. Ah, hate that. Ugh, definitely can't get a better angle from over here. Maybe. He's gonna hide in a corner where I can hit him with poison. I will. That's all I'm saying. If he's gonna stay in a corner where I can hit him with rot, I will. I am fighting him. What are you talking about? Get him? Yeah, I got him. So now he's got poison and rot. See the double tick? Doom, 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 doom. It's his heartbeat. Alright. That's enough of that. Oh, well, why not fight him? Because he got himself stuck there. So that ain't my fault. All like, okay, that was cheese, but that was unintentional cheese, right? I came up to fight him. I'm not gonna walk up to him just because he's got himself stuck in a corner. He is pretty susceptible to a caster, which is ironic considering that he's a magical knight. But yeah. Alright. More fragile than they are. It's so funny. Oh, nope. Not what I wanted. Ooh. Promise Consort Radon. I mean, it's not even fair to say he's hard. He's just punching. Oh, really? Mesmer's hard. Millennia's hard. Consort Radon's just punishing. He's hard in the sense that, yeah, it's a difficult fight, but it's difficult for cheesy reasons. It's my opinion. Fight shouldn't be do everything perfect or you die. Just, it's not. Oops. That's a hell of a mistake. Whew. All kinds of bodies down here. Ooh, smithing stones. Even the big dude with the big shield. Which is the... I did the dancing beast. This is the golden... No, I did the golden hippo. What's the guy in here? Ooh. Lead is gonna help. Yay. Okay. Something people don't realize. Wait. Just wait. They will spawn. Now when you walk in, they will be there. You don't have that 5-second lag time when your helper finally shows up. I don't know how many people I've watched just they tap that and then immediately run in. Oh, yeah, this fight. Knock down the Millennium. never even get the moon off. Oh. She never even cast her moon. Now you have seen the power of lightning.
Hello again. Did you meet my companion? Quite the calm, doubtless, were it not for this, the work of a living god. Wondering about the horns? True enough. Long ago, a cleansing's no wonder though. That aside, and in this they were never saints, they just happened to be still a wretched. Wondering about the horns? True enough. Long ago, a cleansing's no wonder. That aside, and in this
yes,
regard,
this is the
they were never
DLC.
saints, they just happened to be still a wretched.
You have a knack for time. I found this.
I think so. There's a, like, this build is a DLC based build, but there are some pretty incredible fights, and the whole world's gorgeous. You know, it's the same as before. My one comment about the DLC is there's a, and it's not a bad thing, it's just something that if you're going to get it and play it, be aware of. There is a thing you do in game which you have very little control over that will screw up like 2/3 of the quest lines if you do it. And it literally is, if you get too close to that building, the one in front of me right now, if you get too close to that building, a message pops up and a whole bunch of quest lines are broken. And you get no reason to know that that's going to happen. So I would say that you should make sure to play through, like, I would actually read about the quest lines that are available and make sure that you've done them without screwing that up. It's a proximity thing, so you can literally run, like, to here and follow this path, and you'll screw it up. But going to the same place through this path, you won't screw it up. That's how much you're not warned when this is going to happen. So take that for what it's worth. It's really frustrating. But if you are going to do multiple playthroughs, it's not nearly as big a deal. Like, if you're the type to play it through again and again, it's not going to be nearly as much of a problem. You won't be able to gather all the fragments. When you get that message, so suddenly they'll say, like a message pops up that says somewhere a seal has broken, or a rune has broken, and you get the sound of picking up runes, that sound that when you pop a rune, it goes like that. You'll get all of that, and that's when it's happened. And what it does is it breaks all the quests related to these NPCs if you haven't progressed them far enough.
Where is what binds us? Wondering about, true enough, long ago, a cleanse, it's no wonder that aside, and in this, they will never say it just happened to be there's still a wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there, and I've screwed it up. In fact, I already screwed up another quest line. They don't warn you that there's not like a message. You know how in some games like Cyberpunk, right? 2077. There comes a point when it says, hey, if you do this, then you're like gonna leave behind a whole bunch of stuff. They don't give you any kind of warning. And that's okay, but it's frustrating because it's a proximity thing. It's not like if you enter the building, this will happen. It's not. It's if you get within this proximity, even in the outside world. Anyhow. So you can basically, if I kept doing the path I'm on, I could skip almost everything and get to the final boss up in there. And just miss like 2/3 of the world and everything else. And there's nothing that would guide me to do anything that wouldn't do that. That's the frustration. That's why I'm thinking about, and it can be like getting to places like this, and you don't want to be there anyway, but getting to places like this requires like a lot of planning, and you can accidentally get too close a proximity to this. Like if you're coming up around this way to go around, you can end up getting too close to this side and you'll trigger it. Anyway, yeah. There's something else they don't really give you much warning about, which is you'll find, you know, the pest bugs? You will encounter pest bugs that will, that are non-aggro. Don't kill them. Normally, if you see them, it's like instant death on sight. I have it. Full health. I think he's the only person in the game that actually looks human. Everyone else, they make him look contorted. Oh, hold on, I may have a level in me. Oh, you bastard. Oh, jeez. Man, this guy is hard as a caster. Red lightning staff. Oh, no. Unfortunately, you can't. When you say red lightning staff, you mean this item? Yeah, this is it's the Bolt of Gridsax. It's actually a spear. But yeah, no, unfortunately you can't. It is in a specific spot that gets buried. At least if you can, I'm unaware. But I believe what I read was someone said that you can't get it after you kill Malakath. I'm pretty sure you can't get it because you burn the city. I might be wrong though, so I will leave that open to exploration. You might find a guide that shows how to get it some other way. But it's, you know, when you're in the city, there's that place where there's the giant. It looks like this, but it's giant and it's stabbed into the ground. You can jump up onto it, run up on it, and get this item. There we go. Yeah, what I've read is Malakath, but to the problem is that Malakath is in Farum Azula, and to get there you have to burn the tree. I'm using this just to play. I've already beaten the game with lightning. I had been, until the DLC, I've been playing with a knight build. That is, I could only wear like medieval knight type stuff. Oh yeah, for sure. But this, the thing is, what makes this so awesome is the absolutely stupid range that you get from this thing. Oh, not that good. I mean, obviously you get a stupid amount of damage too, but the range is obscene. And if you're really worried about FP usage, you can actually, instead of this... What can we get? Oh my god! Ha! It wouldn't move. Seriously, it wouldn't move. That's funny. Gotta love this game. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that I'm gonna get revenge on these turkeys. Where'd they go? These three. How? It's two this guy survived. It's crazy. Anyway, what was I saying? There's actually a few items that are supposed to pair nicely with this build, and I haven't really played with any of them. I may have played with... that is... Frozen Lightning Spear? Oh, this one. Frozen Lightning Spear. It basically has about the same effect as the Frost Axe. So there's supposed to be a few weapons that are particularly good. There's the Stormhawk Axe. This is supposed to be good. Obviously, you could do lightning builds on any lightning ability on any weapon. There's the Flowerstone Gavel. I think that's what you get with the Priestess stuff. There's at least one other that's a lightning. I'd have to look it up. There's at least one other lightning-based item. So that's the Stormhawk Axe effect. Well, I mean, there's lots of good Blood Loss builds. It's kind of the easiest of all the builds to make. If you look at most of the build guides, when they talk about doing Blood Loss, what they want you to do is they want you to ratchet your damage dealing up so that the Blood Loss hits super hard. The gear they want you to have is what Marius's, I think it's called. I'm sure I have this suit. This one, no, not this one. The Rakasha, this stuff. There's a whole set, and what it does is it increases damage dealt to foes, but greatly increases damage taken. So you're kind of doing more damage, but taking a lot more damage. And I'm generally not a big fan of that. But what they do is they have you put this on, I think it's like a 2% increase per item. And then, as far as weapons go, I think the ones that are usually talked about are, I mean, okay, there's the obvious Rivers of Blood, right? Where are my katanas? So, the Rakasha's Great Katana, Dragon Hunters, any of the Great Katanas. Rivers of Blood is sort of the quintessential blood build. However, you can take the Uchigatana and put a blood-based build on it, and it actually gets, like, right now it's got a blood loss of 38, but if I put an actual, hold on, I'll show you. So Rivers of Blood does a blood buildup of 63, right? There we go. But if I change an Unsheathed, by the way, is a great one. If I go to a blood loss buildup, Uchigatana with Unsheathed has a blood loss buildup of 111. That's a lot. You just kind of can't argue with that. I kind of prefer going with the Frost and the Blood both, which is what's pretty cool about the build. The reason Rivers of Blood has a gross amount of blood buildup is not because the sword itself automatically has it. It's because if you look at the actual effect, right, this, you're hitting twice. And if you do the full set, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. So each one of those is an additional buildup. It's an in a mood to die. But there are other ways to go. There's also, let's see. So, let me equip it, the Uchigatana. This actually will be a pretty decent weapon. So if you see that little thing it's doing, where it like arches over, yeah, I'm not gonna hit these enough to get a blood buildup before they die from just regular melee. Okay, so this is, I'll open it up. This is, what's it called? Bloodblade. Let's see, this is... So this is another one, but notice I'm taking damage also, right? So there's a danger in some of these that you also have to pay attention to the damage that you're taking. But it does a gross amount of damage, right? So not only are they doing damage to me, but I'm doing damage to myself. So, Rivers of Blood doesn't have that problem. You don't do damage to yourself as you're using it. This is another blood-based. And again, I'm putting it on a katana. Oops. Boy. So, decent single attack. And there, that was a blood buildup. And again, another blood buildup, that explosion. So, from a like blood buildup standpoint, what you're really ultimately after is this causes blood loss buildup. That is just hitting with a weapon does the blood loss buildup. That it's just that, like, every time you hit, it's just blood loss, blood loss, blood loss. The specials are adding an amount of blood loss that you do. Katanas just inherently have blood loss buildup. This one, if I remember correctly, you keep a decent amount of your blood loss, but you also get poison buildup. And that's a whole different advantage. But look at that effect. That's just pretty cool. Just all on its own, that's just pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure that's a base game one. So, yeah, as far as a bleed buildup goes, what you want to do in that case is... Sorry, I kind of went down this weird rabbit hole. Let me get to a different... back over here. So the game damage is about synergy. So if you don't care about casting, then none of these are really going to matter much to you, right? So for a blood loss buildup, what you want, for example, is where is it? So if you're going to land crits, you want crits. If you take an item like, where is it? No, wait. I know I have it. I'm just trying to remember where it is. All right, so you have successive hits, right? This one you want to have. This one you want to have. These two are huge for successive hits and doing massive damage. Blood loss in vicinity increases attack power. That can also crank up your ability to attack. Poisoning or rot in vicinity. That's if you have that one that had the blood loss buildup as well. But again, you have to get the poison or whatever on the mob, which is why there are these spells where you put it on yourself so that you count as in the vicinity. Let's see. Yeah, so these two successive attacks restore hit points. This is surprisingly not powerful. You'd think it would be, especially with like Rivers of Blood because he hits so much. It doesn't heal much back. There's what else? Looking for a specific one. This one. So if you have this on, it will reduce the amount of FP that using the special attack eats. So that's pretty handy if you know that you're building based off of that. Yeah. So there's a number of builds. If you know you want to jump in and do your first attack as a jump every time, and then where is it? The final hit of a chain of attacks is useful if you know that you're going to be just like getting all the way through your attack set while hitting creatures. It doesn't matter that you're hitting the same creature. You just have to get to the final in a series. Yeah. And then all of the buffs that people use. All stuff to seriously consider when you're doing those builds. The poison flower blooms twice. What a complicated thing that is. I've seen some pretty crazy builds that people do with various of these. So, and keep in mind that some of these you can instead power with poison. So I don't know if yeah, I could do Lion's Claw with blood built into it. Keep in mind that with blood I get an arcane. So dex, but arcane becomes a way that you power. So if your arcane is very low, that's not going to be as good. Like with fire, right? It's just dex and strength, but with flame art, it adds faith. So if you're really high faith, you want to use flame art, for example. Anyway. Yeah, right now I think I have mine. I had a build that was very, very strength oriented. Blood Rotten Great Axe. Is that one of these? Is that... Which one of these is that? Maybe I don't have it. Unless it's one of these. I don't know that I picked up a great axe. How weird is that? Oh, and Giza's wheel is a sick way to do blood buildup, by the way. Ah, rotten great axe. And can you Ash of War it? You can. So Lion's Claw, and you're saying blood? Holy cow. I haven't fought this guy yet on this playthrough, so I'm not going there. Oh, this should be... Hold on, I can even level this up. Why not? This looks like fun.
Well, I took you no matter to lay out your arms then.
Oh, I need Smithing Stone 6. Smithing Stone 6. I have 1. I think I need 5 more. 7.
Back all no matter.
Don't have enough. Alright, inventory. This may actually not be enough.
Back no matter.
It's not. Probably need about 30,000. Well, thank you, Kamek, for the follow. For the
Back all no matter.
Alright. Let's see this thing in action. Oh. Huh. Well. Hits hard, that's for sure. Let's see. Let's go to north. Ah, it's going all right. How is streaming watching going? Wait. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Lion's Claw. Never mind. Sorry, I was using the wrong attack. I got so used to not having access to the specials. Holy cow, that thing hits. I'm in slow mode. Ow! I'm not open to new ideas, thank you. Man. This thing is wicked. That more. Never mind the weird heal that it decides to do. You gotta love that, though. Go sneaking up on this guy. Oh, man. How about these guys? Hold on, I'm gonna have to shift some stuff around. Equipment. Go two-handed. Wait, not until after I've done this. Holy cow. Yeah, this is crazy. Only one that ticks me off is this guy on the horse. What? How did I not hit him? What? Why? I wish he would stop doing that. Okay, that's irritating. Never been a fan of the Colossal moveset. I'm alive. I already said no, you're just not paying attention. Holy cow. Quiet. I order you to be quiet. That's crazy. Golden Bow. Howl. Let's get that little bit of healing in. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh yeah, big time Hulk smash. How does that guy not lose? That's what's crazy. Like right here. And this dude comes walking over. Like, I'm gonna go talk to the dude that just killed the guy on the horse. That's what I should do. Ugh. That's gross. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, alright. Can't argue with the cool factor on that one. Let's see. Ah. It's super satisfying for sure. Yeah, I generally go caster, so I have a very different kind of setup and experience for going after bosses. But I mean, they're all valid. Anyway, I'm going to call it. It is lunchtime. I may or may not be back later. We'll see. I hope you all. Thank you for sticking around with the fun and hilarity. And I will see you guys later on, probably. Anyway, thank you for the likes and follows and the gifts and stuff. It's really awesome. I appreciate it. I hope I made your day a little bit more enjoyable.